And what I did is I divided 4 with 2 with 4, and I got 2.
What is around my 2 when I plug it in, Gage? What is around my 2 when I plug it in? Every time? You betcha. So 4 over 2 needs to be greater than or equal to 3. Gucci? What'd you do after that, Gage?
I divided 2 with 4, and I got 2.
Excellent.
And 2 greater or equal to 3 is not a solution.
So did you put a slash through it? Did we all put slashes through it? Guys, I'm grading you based on this slash. If it's not a true inequality, you need to put a slash through it. Now, the final answer is not 2 is not greater than or equal to 3. What do I need to write as my final answer, Gage? Z equals 2 is not a solution. Now, guys, so we write Z equals 2 is not a solution. Questions on the warm-up? Okay, are we all clear on my expectations for the solution? You need to cross out the inequality and you need to write this whole statement. If you write no solution, are you going to get it wrong? Yes, there is solutions, but Z equals 2 is not one of them. Gucci? Okay. How I teach this lesson, guys. What the heck? What happened there? Sorry. All right, we're back to normal. Okay. Guys, this is a normal equation, right? How would we normally solve this? We should all know what to do here, okay? Our variable's on the left. What do I need to do here? Kevin? Good. We subtract 5 from both sides. If I subtract 5 from here and here, I'm going to get x equals? Bingo. Okay. Now, if we were to put that on a number line, could x be equal to 4 here? No. Could x be equal to 6? No. Could x be equal to 5.5? No. X has to be equal to what? So, on my number line, now I'm going to put 5. How many numbers do I need on any number line I draw? 3. What goes to the right of 5? What goes to the left of 5? Okay. Now, what do I put to indicate that 5 is my only solution? Josh? Good. Not shaded in. Or should I shade it? You should shade it, okay? Because is 5 a solution? Yes, so you need to shade it in there. Do we shade any side of the number line? No, because 5 is the only answer. Do you guys see the difference there? Now, we're going to do the exact same thing, but with an inequality. Do you guys see the difference here? The only thing I changed was it was an equal sign. And now what sign is it? A greater than or equal to, okay? A greater than or equal to symbol. We do the same thing. So if you do something to the left side of an equation, you must do it to the right side. If you do something to the left side of an inequality, you must do it to the right side. So what did we do last time? We subtracted 5. We're going to subtract 5 again. And we're going to get x is bigger than or equal to 5. How many numbers go on my number line? 5, 6, and 4. Make sure there's 3 numbers. If you put 5 numbers, is that okay? Yeah, if you put 2, are we Gucci? No. Okay. What goes on the 5? Closed dot. Why? It's greater than or equal to. And which side do I shade? A la derecha, people, to the right. Why do I shade to the right? Someone who's been working hard in here. Tell me why I shade to the right. Mariana. What about it? Very good. It's pointing to the right. Gucci, this is all we're doing today. It's only addition and subtraction. Okay? All right. Scroll down. We're going to do A and B together, and then I'm going to set you guys loose. Okay? We've got x minus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 10. It says solve and do what? Graph. So if you don't have a graph, are you going to get full credit? Absolutely not. Make sure we're reading the instructions. So let's solve this. What do I do to solve this? First thing that you check for before anything else, Natalia.
Like terms?
No. Oh, yes. You can look for like terms. What do I need to make sure is true about this inequality before I start to solve? Yeah, Natalia.
The x is on the left side.
Very good. Is the x on the left?
Yes.
We Gucci. Okay. What do I do to both sides now? Josh.
So you add 6 to negative 10.
Josh, how did you know to add 6? You are absolutely correct.
Because of inverse subtraction.
Good. The inverse of subtraction is addition. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. Who can tell me who's pretty good with these negatives? What is negative 10 plus 6? Sansia.
Negative 4.
Let's go. Okay, so we get negative 4. What do I have on the left now?
X.
Just an x. Are we done solving for x? Yeah. Okay? But what is my answer missing? The graph. So draw a number line. How many numbers does Mr. Yurko need? 3. So what goes in the middle? -4. What goes to the right of -4? Don't say -5. It's -3. And what goes to the left of -4? -5. Okay, someone who's been working hard, tell me what I need to do for shading. Nathan.
A circle that's filled in and then goes to the right.
And goes to the right. Do we agree with Nathan? Yes. I sure do. That's excellent. To the right, to the right, to the right. Sign me up for karaoke. Okay, are we Gucci? Yes. Questions so far? Okay, we're doing B and then I'm setting you guys loose. Okay, scroll over to B. First thing we check for, Miguel, what is it? First thing we check for. Shh. What? Oh my gosh, Hunter. Thank you, Miguel. Okay, so we check for the variable on the left. Is the variable on the left Isabella? Is the variable on the left? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So are we good? What do we need to do to solve this? Charlie, give it to me. Yeah. Good. Who's good with negatives? What is -9 plus 2? Hunter. Let's go. It's -7. So B must be bigger than -7. Are we Gucci? Okay, are we done? What do we need to do? Number line. Draw your number line. What 3 numbers go there? -6 should be to the right, and -8 should be to the left. Remember, when you're dealing with these negatives, it's easy to mess this up. When you're done with your test or your quiz, what should you go back and do? Check, okay? Go back and check that you didn't make a small mistake and put 8 over here and 6 over here. Okay, you need to have -8 on this side and -6 on that side. We Gucci? Okay, what goes on my -7? Miguel? Thank you. And now which way do I shade? The right, because it's telling me to shade to the right. You guys all agree that if I threw an arrow stem in here, it would tell me, okay, shade to the right? Hey, let's go. Okay, you guys have to do D, and you have to do... The answer to D is on the board. Check if you got it right. If you didn't, copy down what I did. Go. A, B, and D on the next page. Go. Are there any questions on A? Were we good with the -3 and everything? Okay, we were good with the shading and everything? Okay, I see some struggles with example B. Please don't erase what you put. If you couldn't get it, just write it again over on the right and write down what I'm going to write, okay? But don't erase what you put because I want you to see your mistake, okay? So look at example B. What's the first thing you should have noticed in example B? Kevin? Good. The variable's on the right. So watch, guys. You have to take this entire thing and rewrite it on the left. So we're going to write 1.4 plus m. Do you guys agree? What now goes on the right-hand side? -8. What else do I need to change when I flip my inequality? Bruce? Good. Do you see how my alligator still needs to face the 1.4 and the m? Because that's still the bigger side. We're going from big over here and small over here to big over here and small over here, okay? We need to maintain inequality here, okay? So it needs to make sense. So this is our new inequality. What do I need to do? Because m is still not isolated. It's got the 1.4 with it. What can I do to isolate m? Josh?
Subtract 1.4.
Good. We're going to subtract 1.4. Now, 8 and 1.4, or excuse me, -8 minus 1.4. What do I do there? Alicia? Good, so I'm going to do 8 plus 1.4. Remember, 8 is the same as 8.0. 0 plus 4 gives me? 8 plus 1? Where does my decimal go? In between them. So I'm going to get 9.4. M needs to be bigger than 9.4. What am I missing? It needs to be negative. Why? Why does it need to be negative? Josh?
Because -8, because of the -8 is the greater number.
No. So here we don't care which one's the bigger number. Why don't we care which one's bigger? Mariana? They're both negative. So regardless of which one's negative, if they're both negative, our answer needs to be negative. That is for adding and subtracting. Do you guys agree? For multiplication and division, is it still if two negatives, you get a negative? No. What happens in multiplication and division if you have two negatives? You get a positive. Do we understand how the rules of subtraction and addition are different than the rules of multiplication and division? We need to learn those. Okay. So now are we done? Almost. Draw your number line. What goes in the middle? Okay. What did we put on the right? What? Negative 8.4. Sure. What did we put on the left? Negative 10.4. Okay. It could have been a variety of different things. What else could we put? We could have put negative 9.5 over here. And negative 9.3 on the right-hand side. Okay. I'm not really that picky as long as I have how many numbers there? 3. Okay. And then let's put negative 9.3. Oh, that works. What goes on my negative 9.4? Open circle. And which way do I shade? To the right. We Gucci? Okay.
What do we do when we go to E? Are we done?
Yeah, don't do E yet. You did E? Okay, that's fine. All right, D. What do I do in D? First thing, Bruce, rewrite it. How do I rewrite it?
Z plus 1.6 is less than or equal to 5.
Close. Bruce almost reversed it the right way. What did you miss, Bruce? Good. What does it need to say? Greater than or equal to. Are we clear on that? Okay. Now that we have Z on the left, what can I do to solve? Yes.
You're going to subtract 1 over 6 from 5 over 6, and you're going to get 4 over 6, but I reduced it to 2/3.
Good. So we get Z is greater than or equal to 5 over 6 minus 1 over 6. Guys, can I subtract these the way that they are?
Yes.
Why?
Because the denominators are the same.
Good. We have what's called a common denominator. Are we Gucci there? When I subtract these, do I get 4 over 0?
No.
What did I do here that was incorrect?
You subtracted the denominator.
Are you supposed to subtract the denominators? What do you only subtract? The numerator. So I should get 4 over what? 6. Now, if you write this as your answer, you're going to get most of the points, but you're not going to get full credit. Why won't you get full credit here? Josh? Yes, I didn't graph it, but just from this answer.
Fraction 1 to 0.
What does 4 over 6 reduce to? 2/3, because we can take out a what? A 2 from both the numerator and the denominator. So this is going to be Z needs to be greater than or equal to 2 over 3. Now we do what? Now you graph it. What goes in the middle? 2/3. What could go to the right? 1. And what could go to the left? 1 over 3 or 0. Okay, either one is fine. What goes on 2/3? Closed circle. And we're shading a la derecha. Questions? Are we confident so far in this lesson? Yeah. Let's go. Okay, we've got one more example. And guess what kind of example it is? What do I usually say for the last? A word problem, okay? It's a word problem, okay? All right. So, some of you guys may not know this, but your outlets at home can only handle a certain number of voltage, okay? Or else you'll break the circuit. How many people have had their circuit broken at home? Have you ever had that happen? Like stuff catches on fire, you see like a spark, okay? That means you've plugged too many things into your outlet, okay? And you've overloaded the circuit, okay? So, the circuit that we're talking about it overloads at 1800 watts of electricity. You plug a microwave oven that uses 1100 watts of electricity into the circuit. Write and solve an inequality that represents how many watts you can add to the circuit without overloading the circuit. So if it overloads at 1800 watts of electricity, can you actually plug in 1800 watts of electricity? No, because what would happen? It would overload. So you can add up to 1800, but can you include 1800? No. So let's write number 1. Number 1 was what's given. Do you guys agree? So what were they giving us here? They give us the 1800, which represents what? The watts, but the watts for what? Till you overload. So 1800 is until you overload. Is that kind of like a total? Okay. What else did they give us? 1,100 watts. And what was that? What did that represent? Good. That was the microwave's watts. So this was the microwave. Step number 2 is identify, okay, what are we looking to find? What is this question asking us? What is this question asking us, Josh?
How much you can add to the circuit without overloading?
Good. So how many watts? So watts added, right? How many watts can we add to the microwave without overloading the circuit? Do you guys agree? So watts added. What's a good variable to use for watts added? W is excellent, okay? Step number 3 is to write, normally it's write an equation, but now we're dealing with what? Inequality. So we need to write an inequality. Who thinks they could write the inequality for me? It's okay if you're wrong, but I want someone to try. Hunter?
Alright, 1,100 plus W. Are we doing like the?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is less than or equal to 180. Wait, 100. Sorry, 1,800.
Good.
Is that right?
You are 1,000% correct, except for one small minor detail. Does anyone see what the small issue is with Hunter's answer? Yeah, Zyla? Why can't this be equal to? Go ahead, Zyla. Good. Can we reach 1,800? No, because what will happen if we reach 1,800? It said what happens at 1,800? It overloads. Do we want our circuit to overload? So how do we avoid that? Staying below 1,800. Do you guys remember when we would graph this on number line, we would put an open circle? We're keeping it open because we don't want it to reach 1,800. We don't want it to overload. Are we Gucci? Okay, now we have an inequality. Can we solve this guy? How would you solve this guy, Sansia? I think it's actually already on the left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So what would you do after that?
Subtract 1,100.
Good. Subtract 1,100. I like that you're checking to make sure that it's on the left, though. Subtract 1,100. Guys, someone answer this. What is W need to be less than? Good. It needs to be less than 700. What are we talking about here? This should have units because it's a word problem. It's watts. W-A-T-T-S. Let's do letter B, and then we're donezo. So W, the amount of wattage added, needs to stay under 700. Look at the chart of the appliances over on the left. Which of those appliances could we plug into the outlet without overloading? Eli?
Blender and the clock radio.
Good, the blender and the clock radio. Why can't we plug in the hot plate?
Because it's too hot.
It's too high. And why can't we plug in the toaster? 800 is more than 700. Do you guys agree? So those two will not satisfy our inequality. Gucci? Turn these in.